Graeme McDermott, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Samir. Good to see you.
Yeah, good. Likewise. Listen, welcome to season 2 of the Data Strategy Show. This is 66 questions and data leaders unplugged. Are you ready, Graeme?
I have to say, I was like a 15-year-old in the O-level exam going 15, 60, that's 25 seconds a question. Better be quick here.
And I'm sure a lot of people don't realize what O-levels are anymore, do they?
I've just given my age away.
GCSEs for everybody else.
I did do my O-level maths 2 years early. Okay.
Oh, blimey, that's amazing. So listen, Graeme, just tell me a little bit about your background.
I'm currently Chief Data Officer at TempCover. For those who have not heard of TempCover, it's a short-term vehicle insurer based out of Fleet in Hampshire. They cover anything from 1 hour to 28 days, which is an amazing product.
Unbelievable.
Set. Yeah. Prior to that, I was a CDO at Addison Lee for about nearly 5 years in London. And then just prior to that, I spent 17 years in charge of data at various points in the AA, so the Automobile Association.
Fantastic. Listen, Graeme, 66 questions. As I said, we're going to get straight into it. Tell me, Graeme, how do you start your day?
Do you know what? I always have to have breakfast. And it might sound funny, of course everyone has breakfast. If I'm getting up at 3 in the morning to go and get a flight, I have breakfast. Go up at 2 in the morning to go to flight, I have breakfast. The other thing I do over breakfast is I read all the overnight data alerts, things that are telling me that the data warehouse or the data platform is okay. I get all the early MI reports before the execs, so I get an early release. And I've done this for years. I did it here, I did it in my last company, because I don't like the execs to see the data first before I've not had a look at it.
Absolutely. So you're always ready, prepared. Sounds like the old the Boy Scout, you know.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Yeah. So listen, what's your biggest weakness?
Do you know what? Probably relates to that, which is perfection. My other half says that I pursue perfection. I said, there's nothing wrong with perfection.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like her, I think. My wife is a perfectionist, and I always say to her, but it's crazy. You're trying to get the last bit of, this thing, and it drives her mad at
There's nothing wrong with perfection. It's just people who don't, pursue perfection. That's the problem for us.
Yeah. Yes, that's a problem for you. Absolutely. So listen, on that point then, with perfection, what's your biggest strength?
Do you know what? I think it's probably resilience. So I think there's been a number of times, probably a lot of times in the last 10 years or so, whether it's personal life or work life, where you just have to dig deep. Company takeovers, making people redundant, all that type of stuff is really hard on a leader, and you have to be resilient. And equally, same things can happen in your personal life. You can have difficult decisions to make, or different things happen, particularly when your parents start getting sort of older.
Sure.
And you just got to be resilient, I'm afraid.
No, it's a good point. And it sounds like your career has been pretty much in that data aspect, but at insurers and so on. Well, throughout throughout your career, what's the biggest learning experience you've had?
Crikey. And bear in mind, I did start my career as very much in insurance, but as an actuarial student, which for those who don't know, is all about sort of the mathematics of insurance, and when are you going to crash, when are your house going to burn down, when are you going to lose all your money, and
sounds really grim.
Retire. Yeah, it's great. So I think that period, and I've used learnings from that 5 years I spent trying to be a qualified actuary, just throughout your life. It's because it's sort of I've worked in insurance a lot. It's the mathematics. So that's my sort of that part of learning. I think the other one is, which is my other learning is, I don't like not being in control.
Okay, so control freak.
Not control freak, just don't.
Just
like not
you
being
need
in control.
You need to know. Okay, it's a bit like perfection for you.
I'm not a control freak. Just think you are. Okay.
So tell me, what's your favorite time of day?
Yeah, it's gonna go back to my early morning. I'm definitely a morning person, and when I say morning, I mean sort of I like being up early. When I was doing the London trips, I would get the 10 to 6 train. I'd be at my desk in London at 7 a.m. I love that time. You can get stuff done without people replying to messages. There's not be many people even on their phones that time of the morning.
Yeah. And apart from people who aren't perfect, what makes you angry?
I think laziness, and in particular, I'm going to say laziness with data. That is top of my list. If you don't care about my data, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to get angry.
Yeah,
can't help it.
Any good examples about the laziness of data?
I just think things like there's this long-standing sort of relationship between sort of data and IT, particularly in the recent times when often those have split out as functions. IT are asked to create a system. No one asks them or tells them to push that data downstream to a data platform. The data platform team then become aware because they get asked to produce something. They then have to go cap in hand and get told, no, it's on the priority list. And that whole thing just irritates the hell out of me.
Yeah, I was reading about that this morning. Somebody had posted something out saying the same thing. And it was used as an excuse as to not get improved service or improved platform or access to, what was needed to be done. So listen, what's your best trait?
I'm going to say loyalty. I spent 17 years at the AA. I went through 5 different changes of ownership.
Wow.
I'm a pretty loyal person, and I just believe in loyalty. And I think I've also had, I've been very lucky to have some people work with me who've also, come with me on the journey when I've moved to other companies who are also loyal. So I think I probably instill a bit of loyalty in other people. So it's an important aspect to me.
Sure. So we've been through quite a crazy couple of years now with the pandemic. What are you most excited about these days?
I'm just shocked that you said couple of years. I mean, I think we all thought it would be all over in a few months.
No, goodness me. I was speaking to somebody in South Africa this morning. They're going into wave 4.
Yeah, I know. When I've heard I've sometimes even caught myself saying the word post-pandemic. I'm not sure we are, but I think the exciting stuff. And I got into this probably a couple of years ago when I was still at Addison Lee, and I sort of still interested in it. Not necessarily as many applications where I am at Temcover, but particularly around IA and RPA, so intelligent automation, robotic automation, because I think we're learning now with if someone listens to this in a few months' time and go, "What's the fuel crisis? What was that shortage of fuel?" I think as a population, we seem to hate doing boring things.
Yes,
no one wants to do so we do ultimately want robots to deliver fuel or stuff to happen that don't really want people to do because they're a bit boring and no one wants to do those type of jobs. People want to do the jobs that get rid of those. I'm sorry, but that's reality. People want to create that sort of stuff.
I was reading this morning, we've got a shortage of butchers as well.
I saw on the high street yesterday a sign outside a shop and it said, clothes shortage coming, buy now. I mean,
great
everybody's
marketing.
doing
Fantastic. Love it. So what's the best compliment you've ever received?
I lost you.
Yeah, I've lost you as well. All right, we're back. Yeah. Don't worry, that'll be edited.
Yeah.
I'll ask again. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Joe, I'm not a compliment chasing type person. Obviously, it's great when they come.
Something that surprised you.
I think very recently, actually, I say our CFO said in a sort of open audience with some external people there, said, we trust your data, not the management accounts. Now, you don't often get that. And he said, we want to use your data, your dashboards, not the management accounts. And he was talking about the fact we wanted 5 years worth of stats, etc. Your data is the one we trust, not the management accounts.
That's incredible.
That was good.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, only been here a year, so
But that's one of the greatest compliments you could have.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well done. So when are you most inspired?
I think I'd say probably when I'm happy, which sounds a bit but actually it is important to try and keep, when things are down, try and keep yourself happy. And I have definitely done that thing where I go, do you know what, I'm going to buy myself a toy. I say a toy, it could be a DVD, it could be whatever, but trying to maintain that level of happiness actually keeps you inspired, wants you to do more, do better.
Correct.
I think if you start spiraling down, you've got it's harder and harder to pick yourself up. And maybe I'm one of those people who's self-motivated enough to be able to pick themselves back up.
Sounds great. What makes you smile the most?
I don't know, probably watching my kids grow up.
Nice.
I've got older kids who are sort of who are 23 and 26.
Wow.
And equally at the other end of the scale, I've got young James, who's only 11.
Oh my goodness.
And actually it's quite funny just watching them sometimes, observing what they do, and talking with them about stuff that you did at their age, and just sort of saying, relating to them in that way.
I was expecting more white hair, but wow, you're doing well.
Yeah, afraid so.
What's the one thing that people don't know about you?
Do you know what? In the old days, I would have said.
In the old days,
I'm not talking O levels. Certainly, early in my career, I was certainly. I was going to say criticised. I was told by some psychologists that I was a closed book, very hard to break down. It was on these like senior leadership, leaders of the future, where you got psychoanalyzed and watched, every minute of every day on the course. And I said, well, is that a bad thing? And they said, well, you're lacking trust and all this sort of stuff. I sort of came out of it feeling a bit battered and bruised.
Yeah.
And I probably did. I probably hid lots of things that were going on outside, and try to carry on doing my job because I thought at work that was important. I think I've become more open, and with things like social media, I think it's really hard to hide things. So I think the only one thing I'd say, and people always laugh, I say I'm actually quite shy.
Really?
I'm an introvert. I am not an extrovert, but I had to put on a front to get to that. Yeah. Etc. You have to put on a front, And when I did the whole, not the Myers-Briggs, but insights and discovery behavioural thing with my team, and we all took part in it, and they sort of said, your natural is this, but actually your front is that, and I went, yeah, you've got me there, because actually you can, when you answer the questions, they can pick out what your natural behavior is from what actually you're perceived by others. So
you've trained yourself well over the years then to have these two.
Well, obviously that's what people tell me.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, I'd say I don't enjoy walking into a room of people, whether I know them or don't know them.
Yeah.
I plan and prepare, and I try not to be shy in amongst lots of people.
No, good trait. What makes you feel the most like yourself?
Oh, I could get slaughtered for this. God, I was just thinking about this the other day about and I watch a lot of is it Susan, classification guru? I just find her on a Sunday. I find her hilarious. If you want to ever brighten yourself up on a Sunday, go and look at what Susan's posting on LinkedIn. So I think my happiest place is sometimes a bit of data in Excel. I know people are going to go, oh, why using Excel?
Brilliant.
Blah, blah, blah. Come on.
Brilliant.
And that doesn't matter whether it's a little bit of, not work, but just just doing some, tax things or inventory or whatever.
Okay.
Bit of data, bit of Excel.
Yeah.
That's a great place.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. So what are the 3 things that you can't live without?
Well, the first one is obvious, data.
Yes.
Right, let's get that one out of the way. I do like my cars, and
what are you driving right now?
Audi S5 Quattro. I used to go for understated, so that I now know why people don't have green, why people have like those really bright cars, the hot hatches of bright colors. It's so that other people can see you coming very fast.
Yes.
My approach is no, go grey, understated,
very subtle.
No one see you. But yeah, since my personal mileage dropped dramatically, probably 5-6 years ago, I've gone, let's go the other extreme and have a nice, fast car. But I did specify it with heated rear seats, because my kids said it's all right for you having heated seats in the front, but we want them in the back. And I found a model that happened to have heated rear seats in the rear, and I went, right, you can have them, kids. So
brilliant. And what's the third one? Yeah.
I'd probably say I am a bit addicted to my phone. It's not a phone, is it? Because when was the last time I phoned somebody on that phone? Yep. It's the internet with me. That's correct. The thing. I love having the internet with me.
Yeah. My daughter was always telling me, get off your phone. I said, well, I'm not actually, I'm working. and that
Yeah,
soon
yeah.
gets.
It's quite an important thing, and I'm working on my social media profile.
Yeah, exactly.
They're posting on Instagram, going, "No, I'm on LinkedIn."
No,
you know?
no, exactly. That's the right place to be. What's your current TV character obsession?
I'd say my current and all-time is James Bond.
Oh, and here we are with the new one.
I know he's not quite TV's film, but he gets on TV eventually. Yeah. I just love a James Bond movie. I can watch them. I've got every single one of the collection. I watch them over and over again.
Yeah.
And I've got my son, which might be why he's called James. Don't
he doesn't know that yet, does he?
Don't tell the missus that. But he does have an email address which involves James and 007.
Oh, fantastic!
And I have looked up. You can get a number plate with James 007 MCD. I got told under uncertain circumstances that I wasn't to buy it.
Yes.
Because also, you don't know if number plates will exist in 6-7 years' time. Maybe.
No, they probably won't. So. Yeah. So that means that my next question is probably moot, because the last show that you binge watched was probably James Bond.
No, actually, the last TV show I started binge watch was Line of Duty.
Oh,
I think
brilliant.
I think I might have watched odd series or odd programs.
Yeah.
And I think so on a Sunday night, one of the things I used to do often was have my kids for the weekend, take them back on a Sunday night. So I'd miss Sunday night. I think Line of Duty was predominantly Sunday night over all those years. So never got into it. And then we watched a couple of episodes, I think before the last series came on. And then we sat there and I think we were watching 3 or 4 a night at one point.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. To like
you get
1
addicted.
o'clock in the morning. Well, you know,
addicted to it.
When you're in lockdown and you haven't got to get up at 5 in the morning to train to London.
Exactly.
You can go to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, can't you?
You can. Absolutely. I agree. So what's the most adventurous thing you've done in your life?
Oh, God. I'm a data person who gets off on Excel, you know.
Well, there must have been some formula that, you know, amazed you.
Sure, I struggle. Adventurous thing you've done in your life. I actually don't know. Can I pass and come back to that one?
Yeah, you can come back to it. So how would you define yourself in 3 words?
Loyal, hardworking, and apparently, I've been told, quite caring.
Very good traits. Very, very good traits. What's your most overused phrase?
My team will say analysis paralysis.
Oh, there we go. That's a good one. What's inspiring you in life right now?
I love reading about, I say reading, but also seeing the clever AI stuff. Not people saying, oh, you could do this or you could do that.
Yeah,
actually seeing
it. Yeah.
Something. And, you know, in particular in around image processing, it's very clever at learning and repetition. And, you know, the use of that in sort of medical world in particular, where you can slim down the 30,000 cases that you manually review to here is 300 that need to be manually reviewed. That sort of stuff, you know, I think is really out there and clever, and we shouldn't forget, and therefore don't get hung up on the fact of other AI things that don't work or something. So it's like, come on.
No, I agree with you. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Long-standing, and I've repeated this to my kids recently, which is, so my dad said to me when I was about 17, 18, I think, and sort of deciding university and career, said, do what you enjoy and you'll be good at it. So don't do it just because you think you should do it, because your parents did it or whatever. Do the stuff that you enjoy and you'll be good at it.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. What's your pet peeve?
Badly formatted Excel.
Oh, back to Excel again.
Oh, sorry, badly formatted report. Anything badly formatted. Data dashboard visual. Just
give me an example of one that you've seen which is really bad.
Oh, so I can tell you that we used to run a test for recruitment, and in fact I still do, where we give them a chart and a table, and they have to spot the 20 things that are sort of like wrong with it from a formatting perspective.
Yeah.
We had a guy that we did recruit. He got 21 because we went, oh yeah,
there was one more.
We'll give you that one more.
Yeah.
People who get 6 or 7, sorry, you're out the door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're a hard man to please. Do you remember the moment your career completely changed?
Yeah, I think realizing that I wasn't going to finish the actuarial exams. I carried on. Actually, I think it was 7 years after I graduated with an actuarial degree. I was studying at night, studying at weekends, passing some exams, failing some exams. You're getting more senior, you start a family, and it's getting harder and harder, and just realizing that I couldn't pass those last few exams, and called it a day. And I'd found data and data warehousing and data platforms by then, so and analytics. So decided to make a living out of that.
Good for you, and good one that you're doing. What's your biggest regret?
I'm going to say not qualifying, because not many of my friends, because if you see the dropout rate of people who start actuarial studies and finish, not many get to the end. So yeah, I think regret, just the fact I just couldn't do it. And it wasn't, I tried hard, maybe I don't know, because I tried hard or different techniques, whatever, but companies you work for were very supportive.
And they're pretty tough as well.
Yeah. But the people who get to the end are clever.
Yes.
That is, it's hard work.
What makes you happy apart from Excel and data?
I think back to sort of like just watching my kids and playing stuff, watching films with them, and obviously the Audi's quite.
I'm sure it is
in race mode.
It gives that roar, does it, when you push it down on put your foot down on the accelerator?
Oh yes,
I bet, that lovely sound. So what's heavily played on your music playlist right now?
I'm musically deaf.
Okay.
So I listen to Radio 1 for a bit of chat. My 11-year-old has got more music knowledge than I have, so I'm just terrible.
Okay, Radio 1 at least. That's good.
Yeah.
So what three things are at the top of your bucket list?
So I'd really like to go to Australia for a long period, and my other half would like to go as well. I think she's been before. I'd previously been put off because I just didn't fancy the flight. Yeah. I'm saying not a good fly. I struggled for a while, not the scared thing, but just sickness. But I've flown a lot since and don't have a problem. So yeah, I'd quite like to go to Australia. I think other things. I don't know whether I want to just borrow, own. I don't just want to drive for a day, but borrow or own a supercar.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I don't think hypercar. I think that's out of my league, but supercar.
Yeah. What's your favorite supercar?
I'd probably go McLaren.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Lamborghini, great in the 1980s. Bit raw. No, I want the technology and stuff. I want McLaren. Yeah.
And number
third
3?
one?
Yeah.
Third one. I'm not allowed to say data and Excel.
Oh, you're not? No.
Probably is back to travel. And it's just, I think I think traveled a reasonable amount, but not a huge amount when I was younger. But my partner's very into travel. She's traveled, she'll list off, 48 countries that she's visited. Wow. And pre-pandemic, we used to every year go away for a long weekend without kids. And we were doing the Nordic countries. So just more and more traveling to different countries.
Awesome. What's your guilty pleasure?
I love a gin and tonic.
Oh, very good. I thought you were going to say something else, seeing as it's James Bond, shaken and not stirred. You let me down there. Or
an espresso martini. I'm quite down-hand at making espresso martini. Oh, it might be alcohol.
Yeah. What book did you most recently finish?
So I don't do music and I don't do a lot of reading.
Right.
But I do read data
textbooks. Okay. So, I was
the last one
that.
was Data Means Business.
Okay.
By, Jason and Barry.
Nice. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
I wish that I'd got a decent golf teacher and I could have turned pro.
So you were very good at golf then?
I was. I was told apparently I had a lot of natural talent.
Wow. Do you still play?
By golfing pro.
Yeah.
I haven't played for a few years. I was off of 8. I even have a golf course probably about 600 yards from my house.
Wow.
Get to the 7th green through the trees.
Perfect.
It takes a lot. It takes up a lot of time.
It's a full day, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would it be?
US president.
Oh, why?
Can't do a worse job in one day than they've done in 4 years. I mean, come on.
What's the one thing that you'd love to do when you're in that position, though? Would you like to go to DEFCON 4?
I think I love going Air Force One.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I watched the program about 9/11 and following Bush on that day, which obviously we'd never seen before, and it was amazing to watch what happened and what he did, and getting on and off, and what Air Force One inside looks like. So yeah, I'd love to do the old.
You just play with the gadgets, wouldn't you? That's what you do.
Yeah. Well, I assume there is lots of gadgets. I assume it's like
I
James
bet there
Bond.
is. Yeah,
pen and a,
Yeah. So what's one thing you've always wanted to try, but you've been too scared to do?
Bungee jump.
Oh, okay. So, well, when you go to Australia, you can try it.
I'm only scared because someone told me each one you do compresses your spine by 2 centimeters.
Oh, really? I didn't know that now.
Something like that, or 1 centimeter. I'm a tall guy, so I can afford to lose it. But no, I just don't fancy that bit.
So this is going to be a really good question for you because I know you like your data. What's the most ridiculous fact that you know?
I just like the one which is what goes up must come down. It's like,
okay,
yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you could resurrect one person from history and put them in the world today, who would it be?
Winston Churchill.
Why?
I think we need some Dunkirk spirit, frankly, in the last couple of years.
Yeah. What his
leadership.
His leadership and his capabilities. The current leadership just doesn't do it for you. Who is who spawns from the Churchill family.
Yeah, I know. It's just seems to be one disaster after another.
Oh gosh, yeah. What's the one thing you wish you knew at age 19?
I think it's not. I don't regret it, but I think I do wonder whether I narrowed myself by doing an actuarial degree.
Yeah.
Should I just? My first choice was to do a more mathematics-based degree, generalist. But I also fancied doing the actuarial because there were only 2 or 3 degree courses at that point. And I thought I'd get loads of exemptions to make it easier. I don't think it did necessarily make it easier. So yeah, I sort of wish that I maybe hadn't narrowed it.
If you're not living in the UK, where would you be living?
I've always quite fancied Dubai.
Okay, the heat.
Yeah, I know. Not just Dubai now, but yeah, probably Dubai as it was a few years ago.
Okay. And are there any other things apart from just, is it the heat that you like, or is it is it more technology and stuff? Or
I think the lifestyle, it's not that far away from the UK. It's not like, I think moving to Australia, big move.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
But Dubai's, whatever, 6 hours away. I think the heat probably, I know people who've moved out there to work, and getting used to that heat might be
it's brutal. It's brutal. Yeah. If you could offer one piece of advice to upcoming data leaders, what would it be?
My classic one, I think that has been a repeat a few times, which is data is a journey, not a destination. So everything from, it takes quite a while to build a good data team, data platform, and then try and stay around. It's not a 5-minute job, I'm afraid.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. Where was the best vacation you've ever taken?
I'm going to say Dubai. I went in 1988. My uncle was working out there, been working out there with his family, with my parents. We had an absolutely fantastic time. We went and played on the Dubai grass course. On the second day it opened, because a friend of my uncle's was a member. We also were out there. We played on the sand course, so it literally is sand. But yeah,
really,
and made of sand. You carried around a little bit of AstroTurf, which was
my goodness,
which was the fairway if you were on the fairway, but if you were in the rough, it was basically a big bunker. It's not there now. No, it's gone. They built over it. But back then, 1988, Dubai, very unspoiled.
It was.
I went back 20 years later, 2008. Some friends living out there. It's a very, very different place.
Yeah. It's changed completely. What's one city you've always dreamed of traveling to?
Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, for sports.
Neighbours thing.
Oh, it's I thought it was for sports.
I don't watch Neighbours now, but I did back in the.
You used to. Okay, who's 80s. Your favourite character?
Kylie, of course.
Oh, there you go. Loyalty to Kylie. Still loyalty, but you didn't like her music though.
Actually, yeah, I am a. Yeah, I've been on show to pick. just where we're on a podcast, not video, because actually I got a few Kylie pictures. I do
have you? No way.
I do have a slight obsession with Kylie.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, she's not on the
a healthy obsession,
list.
I hope. What was the best lesson your parents ever taught you?
I think loyalty and hard work.
Yeah.
I think my dad in particular was very, very hardworking. And I think they were just very loyal people, whether it's to family or to employers.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Lasagna. And it has to be my mum's as well.
Only your mum's. You can't go to a.
Yeah, they're not the same in restaurants.
They're not the same. It's true. I know exactly what you mean. What's your favorite podcast?
Well, yours, of course.
Oh, come on, don't be silly.
Yeah. No, I do get into them. It's really sad, isn't it? I can say it's quite a lot of data podcasts that I listen to.
There are. There's lots.
I do have a bit of a penchant. I do like Jason Foster's Cynical ones. I just think he's very, very authentic guy, and I spend a lot of time with him. And I just like the people he gets on and the way he interacts with them. I just they're great podcasts.
Cool. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, 100% strong and black. I did drink tea, but no.
What's a movie that made you cry?
Never.
Not one James Bond movie.
No, not even whatever that Frozen rubbish that my kids dragged me to, and they started singing, and I said, "Is this a musical?" And they went,
"Yeah, of course it was." You didn't know that? Oh dear.
I didn't know that.
Who would you say is your biggest inspiration?
I'm going to say it's my dad. He died 2.5 years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I did his life in PowerPoint, not Excel. And actually putting together like all the stuff from his life, I realized, I knew he came from a very poor part of Scotland, but actually when you see the pictures of where the street he lived in the Gorbals was horrific. Then he worked very hard, he studied hard in night school, became a very successful businessman. And I used to drive to school in a Range Rover because he worked bloody hard and ran a company that allowed him to have a Range Rover and a Jag. So
wonderful.
He was a good bloke.
Beautiful. Really good to hear. What's the one talent you wish you had?
Can I have two? Singing and dancing.
Okay,
I can't sing.
You can't sing.
And I can't dance.
Okay.
I'm tone deaf with 3 left feet.
Well, I'm assuming you didn't meet your partner in a nightclub or in a.
No.
Yeah, exactly, or in a dance hall. What's your favorite exercise?
Running. Running now.
Yep. Yeah. What's the one data trend that you dislike?
I think the job description creep that's happened. It's happening. It's been happening for years, but it's just got worse and worse these days.
Yeah. What's a superpower you wish you had?
I like watching the Incredibles film, and I struggle to choose. Maybe Iceman, so I can always got some ice in my gin and tonic.
Perfect. What's something you don't want to be doing in 10 years' time?
Working.
Okay.
I won't be quite retirement age. I'll be nearly retirement age actually in 10 years' time. I think what I mean is I think I want to be more, like to get to be a sort of data Ned, not nerd.
Okay. Have a portfolio of things that you'd like to do.
I quite fancy doing that advisory type stuff.
Yeah. Looking back on your life, is there anything you would have done differently?
No.
Nope. What's the best thing that happened this year?
So seeing my mum again after lockdown. So she's in a nursing home. Not very well. They were very strict on no visiting whatsoever for months and months. We could only do Skype. She's not very good on Skype and technology. So then when they finally opened back up, I had to have an LFT test, a PCR test, blah blah blah, just to go and see her. And in that time, I'd see her in a room with a mask on, and gloves on.
Just to be with her,
just be able to spend some time with her.
Yeah. Which movies make you laugh the hardest?
Probably actually the last one I went to see, which is we went to see Peter Rabbit 2, which was delayed by pandemic. Great film. I love it. James Corden,
he is funny, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you believe in second chances?
Do you know what? I'd say I didn't, but I think maybe become older and wiser. I do. I sort of read about some of these stories. People, and I think we do owe people a second chance.
Yeah, true. What's your greatest talent?
Is that just one or a list?
Well, come on.
Clearly modesty. No.
Yes.
I'm probably going to say that I do work hard, and that's
Mhm.
partly because I don't need a lot of sleep.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, I'm quite a long hours type person,
Mhm.
whether it's work or personal stuff.
Okay. What 3 words best describe your leadership style?
Direct. People have told me that. I think also people have said that I'm quite caring.
Well, you've said
leader.
that before. That
they said to me,
yeah.
Actually, I've offered up. If you do this and you do that, you can do that. Oh, okay, that's great. That's very nice of you.
Yep.
I think also I'm very much. People said you're a leader from the front.
Okay.
I would be going over the.
You're leading by
things.
example.
Yeah, lead by example.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. What are currently your top 3 data challenges?
I think the one that a lot of people have got at the moment, which is around literacy, and it's a very complex subject, but just trying to improve literacy, both outside of your data team, but also there's other aspects of it within your data team. I think challenge around sort of team size. You always want more resources, different resources within your team, and probably also I say exec buy-in. I've got a good exec buy-in at Temp Cover. CEO very much wanted to move to data-led decisioning. He's run the company. He founded the company, so he knows it, but actually it's got so big now that you can't know everything, and so you need data to inform those decisions. Yeah.
What are 3 words to describe living in the UK?
Do you mean the last 2 years, or?
Well, no, generally.
I think does feel chaotic.
Yeah.
Equally, when you go to other cities, you realise that okay, maybe it's a London, maybe it's a UK city thing. We are actually very cosmopolitan.
Yes,
it's quite a mix.
Yeah.
And well, let's just say weather and just leave it at
that. What's the one thing you had to learn the hard way?
I think that life doesn't always go according to plan. Even though I like to plan, it doesn't always go to plan. So
it can't be perfect, can it?
It can be nearly perfect. You can plan for if it doesn't be perfect. That's the thing.
Yeah, true. How do you handle pressure in your career?
I think about things, a plan, and probably not so much now, but certainly in the past when I was restoring a house, I used to do DIY because actually it's the only time, pretty much the only time. It's very hard to do emails and messaging when you're up a ladder painting a ceiling.
Absolutely.
So I tend to switch off when I'm doing my DIY. I tend to switch off.
Yeah, it's a good way to get away from things and to think as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So what did you want to do with your life at the age of 12, apart from being James Bond?
A racing driver.
Ah, nice. Was that after, was there a time when you watched the Steve McQueen movie and you thought that's what I want to be? Was it?
I think he was a getaway driver, wasn't he?
No, he was in Le Mans, remember?
Oh yeah, sorry, that one.
Not the getaway.
No,
Bullet. That was Bullet. Remember that? No, the other one was Bullet when he was a detective.
Yeah, no, I just think I used to watch a lot of where it's touring car or F1, and I've done a few race days with what I call the tame racing drivers who are blimey. You're not at that level.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my last and final question, actually, I've got one more question just after that, which I can ask you because I've just seen something. What's something you still like to learn?
This is what I'm told. To be more patient.
Okay.
When other people aren't perfect.
Yes, that's the direct piece, is it? Be more patient, will you, Graeme? So listen, I'm intrigued by that by the picture. Is that an elephant or is that a horse behind you?
Oh, directly behind me. So actually, that is no. So the picture behind is
not that one. The other one.
That one over there.
Yeah.
That's my kids.
It looks like it looks like horses. It looks like a horse's legs.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's a canvas print of me and my children at the local park on a swing. That was quite a while ago. They don't like it. And it is technically in my office, which one of them might sleep in when they visit. But obviously now they're much older, they don't tend to visit as often.
Isn't that weird? The perspective that I see is very different.
I'm going to tell them they look like elephants.
Graeme, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, and thank you for bearing everything today.
I'm just, I've never done so much. I think people have found out more in
It's good.
30 minutes than
it's all about you.
30 years.
Yeah, perfect. Look, thanks so much, and
Cheers.
speak to you soon.
Thanks a bit.